what would be most useful for you in our conversation today?
So I was thinking, to be honest, I think the most useful thing would be just kind of figuring out what direction I should be going in as far as the LSAT goes.
Sure. Well, what do you have in mind right now in terms of a study plan?
So right now I've been studying for almost a year or so. I had started last year, then I stopped for personal reasons, and then I started back up around January. I did notice that my studying habits have gotten better since last year. So last year, I think I was kind of more so set on a score versus really trying to understand the material. And this time around, I think my perspective about studying has changed. So I do think I'm learning the material a little bit better, but I don't think that my structure is really there just yet. So I think as of right now, I'm like studying, but I'm not really in it as much as I want to be. Like I kind of want a video. I need like videos or homework or something that kind of like pushes me to go rather than just reading a book every single day.
Right. I hear what you're saying. Sometimes a video can be more engaging than reading a book. I remember when I was
Right.
studying back in the day, I had to like reward myself by watching a TV show episode after every single chapter just to keep me moving through it. So I
Right.
would say you need a plan of attack so that step by step, day by day, you know exactly what to do every single day over the course of your prep. And so I've put together study plans that do exactly that. They'll tell you, read this chapter, watch these videos, then complete these specific LSAT practice problems out of the exams.
Okay.
And I have them for all different timelines. And so that might be one direction you could take.
Okay. And then I felt like as far as I am kind of worried in a sense with, everything with the pandemic and stuff going on, that my plan is not to take the LSAT until August. That was my plan initially anyway, wasn't to take the LSAT until August. But they are doing the LSAT flex in May. And so I'm kind of wondering if they'll make it, if this will last until August, and then possibly they'll make it in August. In a sense, I kind of wouldn't mind taking the LSAT in the format of the flex in August, honestly, just for stamina reasons, just because I feel like it'll kind of, I guess it's a perspective thing. For me, I feel like if it's 3 sections, it'll give me a chance to kind of just focus on 3 sections, get the 3 sections as best as I can and get it over with versus 5 sections. Like that's a lot to me.
Yeah, I agree. Excuse me. I agree. It's definitely a more pleasant test day experience to do 3 sections, not 5. So
Right.
from an endurance perspective, you're done faster.
Right.
Alternatively, each question is worth more. So you really got to make sure that you're giving it your all and that you don't need to warm up first. So maybe do some warm ups before you actually start the exam. Be one way to
Right.
handle it.
Right. So that's the only thing I think I am a little bit more concerned about. I don't plan on applying until next year. But overall, I think I am a little nervous as to how the whole process will work. As far as if I think, in a sense, I am worried if the questions will be harder, if they will even offer the August test, or I think that kind of put me in a wrench a little bit too, because I'm like a little all over the place. Like I said, I was studying a little bit, and then I think I'm just a little all over the place. And then with the pandemic, kind of like pushed me a little bit even more all over the place, because I'm like it kind of like ruffled my feathers a little bit.
I hear you. I think everybody's kind of all over the place right now, and there is a lot of unknown, a lot of uncertainty around the July LSAT, the August LSAT. Yeah, they might be online. We don't really know. So I'd say
Right.
for now, at least, be ready for anything. But the good news is that you don't need to worry too much about the full length timed exams till you get closer anyway. So hopefully you'll know more in the month or two prior to your test date. But for now, just focus on the content, focus on the accuracy with individual questions by type and individual timed sections. And then as it gets closer, you could play with doing some 3-section exams, some 5-section exams until you know which one you're going to take.
Would you recommend as far as taking a full length test? Because I haven't taken a full length test since I started back up in January. The last time I've taken a full length test was last year, and like I said, I haven't taken a full length test since last year. So I I do understand the material a little bit better this time around. I still don't understand it 100%, but I definitely understand it better. But I don't know if I'm quite ready to take a full length test. I feel like if I take one, I might understand the material better, but I won't understand it quite enough where I'll see that much of an improvement. I might see some improvement, but maybe not that much.
I mean, you're not learning from doing the exams as much as you're learning from the review process afterwards.
Okay.
You could obviously full-length exams are good for working on your pacing and working on your endurance, and they might help you play with different strategies around improving pacing and improving endurance. But when it comes to understanding the questions that it's themselves, it's moving too fast with a 35-minute section to let you really get into the weeds on them and to really analyze them in depth. That's where your review process comes in afterwards, and that's where maybe doing some drills and questions by type prior can really help you.
So the purpose of a full length test is really more so like the endurance aspect and to see the reflection of how much progress you've made after you've been practicing.
Exactly. They help you measure yourself, but that's only of somewhat limited usefulness. They can also help you with your pacing strategies as you try out different things. But when it comes to the accuracy and the understanding the questions themselves, it's moving too fast. You really got to work on your review process afterwards. And then if you notice weak areas, review the fundamentals on those particular areas.
First. Okay. So more so review first and then go forward with actually taking the test.
Well, it's a lot of back and forth. So you do an exam, you know weak areas, you review those specific problems, you know types of questions to work on afterwards, drilling by type, for example. Then you could do another exam and see if you improve, see if you're able to implement what you studied. And so it's back and forth.
Okay.
It's back and forth after you've already built a strong foundation. So if you don't already feel like you have a strong foundation, focus on that for now. And then as the exam gets closer, you'll mix in the process of doing the exams and reviewing.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I think that's where I was confused at, because I think that I was so adamant about taking a full-length test because I believe that if I took a full-length test, it would actually show me where I wanted to be. And I was like, oh, if I take the test, and it'll kind of give me an idea of how far I was, how close I wanted to be. But in reality, if I'm not really understanding it and reviewing it, then I won't get a full reflection of where I want to be anyway.
Exactly.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. I think that definitely helped out a lot.
Awesome, Jace. Great. What other questions do you have for me? Anything else?
The videos and the homework. So you said on your website, do you have anything about videos? And I kind of glanced at it. I did because I had heard about you before. I actually saw you on somebody else's LSAT website. You had did an interview, and I said, oh, let me check this out. And I kind of just went through it, and I saw a few things. And I like the podcast part about it because I like to listen to a lot of things. So I was like, oh, let me check it out. But I'm interested in like the videos aspect because, like I said, I need a lot of different things. I can't keep just reading books and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. So I have tons of videos. It's actually my major focus is creating videos and podcasts. And so I have the LSAT Unplugged YouTube channel where I'm putting out tons of free information all the time. But if you want my premium material and you want everything organized cleanly, I have courses. And they include on-demand video lessons as well as live online classes and Q&As and group coaching as well. And so I can send you a link for more on that if you want to check that out.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm really glad we connected, Jace. Before we sign off, what would you say is the biggest insight you got from our call today?
I think the biggest insight was honestly just that perspective about not rushing to take a full-length test. I think that a lot of people have this mindset that if you take a full-length test that is really going to show an impact of how far you've gotten and everything, and it does, but it doesn't necessarily show it unless you've actually put in the work and put in the work and put in the time of understanding the material and actually practicing and reviewing what you may have gotten right and what you may have gotten wrong in order to make some type of progress.
Awesome. I'm glad I was able to help. We'll keep in touch. Let me know if you need anything as you move forward.
I will do. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Jace. Have a good one.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.